Evan. So since yesterday was Halloween, this morning we're going from scary to hairy. So today on Nursing the North, Nurse Christina Paris is going to be talking all things hair. And again, an appropriate topic. We just coincidentally realized it's the start of No Shave November, focusing on men's health. So since everyone's growing out their hair this month, what does hair do for the body?
So hair is really important. So it's part of the integumentary system, which is our skin, and it helps with temperature regulation. It's also really important in alerting us to trouble. You know, our hairs will stick up when we're frightened or if we're cold. And like the hairs in our nose help filter air. So it little particles that can make us sick can stick to those. And the hairs in our ears actually grow outwards so that the earwax, which protects our ears, will automatically come out on its own. So,
interesting. I did not know hair had that much protection for us.
There's a lot of meaning to the hair. Yeah. Now, speaking of hair, what about the eyelashes or eyebrows? If you shave those off, because some people do, or they pluck out the eyebrows or the eyelashes, will they grow back?
So they will grow back. So hair actually grows from the inside out. It doesn't start out on our skin and grow, so it starts from underneath. And they're column-like cells that will stack on top of each other and push the older cells out, which is the hair that we see. And there are actually 90 to 160 eyelashes that we have, and we lose 1 to 2 a day, and they grow very, very slowly. But if you pluck them, you're plucking what's underneath the skin too.
Like the follicle.
So it will take longer for those to grow, but they do grow back. Just
that reminds me.
Very slow.
That reminds me, one time I was in high school, like my friend accidentally ripped out my friend's eyelashes, and she was like terrified they wouldn't grow back.
Yeah.
So, they did though, but so then speaking of like hair, I know like everyone gets like some frustrated having to shave all the time, like armpit hair or facial hair, but why do we like have hair there? Like what's those benefits?
So the hair under our armpits, the hair in our groin, and those are they produce pheromones, and it's actually it actually is what attracts us to other people. It can be, it plays a role in attraction from male to female, and it also it identifies who we are because each person has a specific pheromone that is particular to them, and that's why when dogs come up to us right away, they smell the pheromones, and so they're trying to find out if they know you. You know, like do I know this person? Have I met them before? And that's why
they sniff you so hard.
Correct. So, but the more hair we have, the stronger the pheromone is. Although nowadays the trends are to shave. So, but that helps with reduction of friction and things like that. So those have benefits too.
All right, and now what about balding? I know that's another thing that happens with hair and whatnot, and how does that happen?
So there's a lot of different things that can cause hair loss. Genetics, some people have, you know, if grandma and grandpa have lost their hair, they're gonna lose it too. Alopecia, that's just an issue where it's a disease, an autoimmune disease, which attacks the hair follicles. Cancer treatments, things like thyroid conditions, physical injuries, lupus, some medications like anticonvulsants, or even Botox, when people get Botox, that can, and then something called trichotillomania, I know, it's a hard one to say.
Mouthful.
It's actually a mental health disorder where people pull out their own hair.
I've heard of that.
I have had 3 people that I know who have had this, all in nursing, which makes me wonder that maybe this is a stressful, stressful field. But some will, one friend would pull the hairs from the back of her head, and so she'd have to, make sure she had longer hair to cover it. Another one pulled out her eyebrows, But you hear people going, this job's making me pull my hair out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, literally for some it does. It's rare, however, there's fewer than 200,000 cases. It's treated with professional help, and sometimes you can try medications. And it's most common between the ages of 18 and 35. But there is help. So if you know somebody who's, always sitting there and pulling at hair, on their, there is treatment for that.
Right. Well, thank you so much. That's really a lot that goes into hair that, I didn't know before today. I just kind of grow my hair, bleach it, and that's the extent for me.
I think the ear hair knowledge, that was
That
kind
one
of
was
neat to
interesting.
me.
The nose hair one.
Never would have guessed that. That was kind of neat.
Yes, well, thank you so much for coming in, telling us all about this, especially again the start of No Shave November. But coming up, we have what's trending.